Hello everybody, and welcome to another video brought to you by me, VintageElectronicsGeek.com here. I am your host, Trey. That is short for Trailer Trash. Today, we're going to talk about an awesome GE radio. Many of you may remember this radio from an earlier video I did in the great year of 2018. This was an underperforming radio that I had, and I serviced it by capacitors and checking the other components and doing a alignment on the radio, at which time this thing did phenomenal. I highly recommend you go watch my earlier video on this. You will find this in my playlist, and I may even link to it directly underneath this video. Who knows, stranger things have happened. Guaranteed though to find it only on Vintage Electronics Geek YouTube channel. A few of my co-subs also have a radio that's very similar to this, made by General Electric, such as, but not exclusively to, Doug Mosslack here on YouTube, and also Don, UmaJunkCollector. I highly recommend either one of those channels, if not both of those channels, for you to go and sub to, and when you do, by all means, let them know Jack had sent you. Oh no, wait, I'm not Jack, I'm Trey. I forgot who I was. That's right, I'm Trey. Don was really impressed with the performance of my radio, that he too had did a video on his radio. Unfortunately, he was not all that excited about the performance on his. After ratchet jawing with him for a little bit, he ended up sending me his radio. And that's what today's topic is all about, his radio. Or I should say this series. This first video is going to be an introduction to his radio, and we're going to do a demo, a band scan of his radio. Then in the next video, we're going to tear it apart and try to fix it, or pimp it. Pimp it out. That's what we're going to try to do. Here's Don's radio. Looks really similar to mine, don't it? Kind of reminds you of that country and western song, "Donuts Make My Brown Eyes Blue," or something like that. Alright, here we go. Shazamo. As you can see, it's really similar to mine. Mine, I believe, is a little newer. I don't remember the vintage on mine. You'll have to go check out my video, because my video will have all that information like we're presenting it to you here in this one. Here you can see on this radio that we have the shortwave band up top, which covers from 1.8 to 5.1 megahertz. And then down below we have the standard AM band, 550 to 1620, I believe. Remember, 1964, so don't have the new band plan. We have a fine tuning wheel for the shortwave, and yes, this is only AM. The GE logo, and a really cool Mariner badge. The color scheme of this, the speaker is referenced to as blue-gray, and then the case of it is called Black Texan, or Texon, T-E-X-O-N. This radio features 10 transistors and diode. How many diodes? Well, I don't know, because their bulleted point is plus diode. I thought that was kind of funny. So it's implicating what? Only one diode. Has a big 3.5-inch dynamic speaker and two high-quality aerials. One here on the side, as well as the loop stick antenna on the inside, which we'll see that at the end of this, well, before we get into Bandscan. And this radio only operates on 4 pinlight batteries. There's no AC mains to it whatsoever, nor is there a DC jack. Although it probably wouldn't be that hard to add one. And as you saw, this radio sold for $43.88 in 1964. That is a lot of money. On this side of the radio, we have the antenna. Now this antenna is only for shortwave, not for AM. And here we have these two lugs. Now, these are not ordinary lugs. What they are antenna inputs. We have your positive side of the antenna here, and we have the ground right here. Here we have the earphone jack. On this side of the radio, we have the band selector, which is a push button that has a ball bearing kind of action to it. and we have the tuning knob and the volume control. On the rear of the radio, we have ventilation holes and the strap. Let's do a close-up of this radio.
My transistor radio comes from far away. When it's night over here, over there, it's a breaking day. And I remember all the good times we had walking in the sand with the beautiful girl that I met, made in Japan. And the beauty of her face was beyond my wildest dreams, like cherry blossom blooming in the mountain in the early spring. As we walked by the river, she softly took a hold of my hand.
We are now at the point where we can do the band scan finally. We're going to start off on the shortwave band, and we're going to start off at 5.1 and work our way backwards. Then we'll drop down to AM, start off at the bottom of the band, 55, and go all the way up to 1600. I'm not anticipating really anything to happen in the shortwave spectrum. If we do hear anything, it will be from the 5.1 to maybe 4. I'm using only the antenna on the radio for both bands inside my new office, which, by the way, this is going to be, if this video is published, my first published video from my new office and my new workbench. How exciting, I know. And yes, I say if this video becomes published, because this is actually the second time I'm shooting a video on this opening. I did not like the one I did last night. And I've done about 3-4 other projects prior to this video, all of which I did not like how it turned out. Unfortunately, those projects will be lost and will not hit the YouTubes. I used my overhead camera, and I got to tell you, the workflow and the ergonomics threw me off a whole bunch. I didn't like it, and so I'm going to restructure. I will use that camera, but not as a primary or a half and half like I thought I may. I won't. I'm primarily going to use this camera at this angle. That one above will be to look down, do tight shots on things that are laying flat. So with this being inside this office, I'm not anticipating anything to happen on the shortwave. A lot of power supply noise and other noise of such. Here we go. Alright, so as stated, nothing happening on the shortwave band. Let's go ahead and switch over to AM.
A good war is the war in Yugoslavia. A good war is the war in Libya. A good war is America putting troops on the ground in Somalia. Places where the United States has very little interest, that's where the left says it's a good war. But when the United States has an actual interest, then all of a sudden the war becomes bad. Well, this is a good way to destroy your own base. This is a good way to destroy your own country. Again, the lessons of
so they know if they're getting a good deal before buying. They're also more likely to enjoy a faster buying experience by connecting with TrueCar certified dealers. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, check out TrueCar and enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features not available in all states. I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home.
Chuck DeVore on Forbes really just goes into how California changed policies around this and also de-incentivized an active interest for people to be involved in forest management in California. That's right, the profit motive, that does matter. People want to get lumber, they want to get timber. They actually were using some of the growth for...
Over 17 million kids in America may not know where their next meal is coming from. That's 1 in 5 children. Yet billions of pounds of surplus food produced right here in America just get thrown out every year. That's more than enough to feed
renewable biomass.
That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gives it to hungry kids.
Perfect for streaming your favorites. Access the most free shows and movies, and even your DVD on any device with the Xfinity Stream app. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. Restrictions apply. Get the VIP treatment on 49er Game Day with Faithful Rewards presented by eShop. Imagine getting...
And it says, let your conduct be worthy of that. Reach to live in that realm, to live in that.
To the whole world, that was a long time ago, 64 years at least. 64 years. And the foundation is 53 years old.
And you're not a nationalist, it makes me wonder what you're thinking. Coming up, a lot of folks like to talk about international values and multiculturalism, but we don't all hold the same values. That is very, very overcome by other forces, including a need to feel part of the community, including a need...
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm just so sorry for all the people. I do have an experience with fire that I thought might be...
That's the passion. It's pleasant for the eyes. What's that? Their possession. It's desired to make one wise. What is that? That is position. You see how old it is? There's nothing new. The Bible says that Jesus was tempted in all points like as we are. How?
You see, they have the moral, they appear to have the moral.
That's where I was going next, is that Joe Montana did not have a strong arm at all. Joe Montana was that much smarter than everybody else.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Tom Brady right now, to me, is as good a quarterback as he was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and he's damn sure a better quarterback than he was 15 years ago. Same with Drew Brees.
I mean, he's orchestrated some things tonight, and by
told me last week
his performance in the limited game since he came back from the knee surgery.
Yeah, and the group, the collective, Willie Collar signed another double-double. Bielitsa, who was scoreless at half, ends in double figures.
Sí, se inicia en Sacramento, luego se viene a Oakland, entiendo, no sé si van a estar aquí también en San Francisco.
También, en Oakland mañana en la tarde, de ahí vamos a San José y vamos a regresar a...
You are a good man. You know, you can look stupid. The guy's tightly covered. Tom Brady's going to put that ball where only his receiver can get it.
Something with it. This past July, he was in the candy store, and he just couldn't wait. And he got out there, and he did some things very, very well. Had high hopes coming into training camp. But with the abundance of big... his roster better.
Veterans like us have reached out for help and hear stories of strength and recovery. Pressure up his face. More than ever before, he really needs that pressure not to be there, because moving him off his spot, he wasn't that fast. Now he's even slower, and he really can't throw on the run like he was able to because of his age. And that's not a knock, that's just a fact.
I'm posting on Facebook, I'll do some public speaking, and I'm tweeting my rear end off every day. And really, it's all the same. I mean, all I'm doing is I am a free market, limited government freedom fighter.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call.
You betcha.
Hey, good.
Soccer practice, or you need to drop them off at a friend's house. Oh yeah, you need to feed everybody too. It can get frantic. This is the world women live in every day. Sure.
We have not moved on from it because, as you point out, it is so unnatural.
No, and I think, you know, there's the hearts and minds that, you know, this conversion gate.
Okay, so there you go. That is the GE P968 Alpha. The radio did fantastic this evening, a lot better than it did last night, so conditions are very favorable. I'm not anticipating anything on shortwave, but we will tune this radio up just the same on both bands, and we'll see what happens after that. Radio sounds fantastic, has good tonal quality, it's very loud, has plenty of volume. The controls for shortwave, fine tune, as well as the volume and tune, has a little resistance into it, so the oils, the lubes, is, you know, kind of dried up. Not as bad as mine was, but it definitely has some tension. So we'll definitely get that all cleaned up. We'll get the cabinetry all cleaned up, the antenna cleaned and shined, and all that good stuff. We'll try our best to get some of this old paint removed, and then we'll clean up the case. The D-rings here on the strap, as you can see, are really rusted. Now this radio, when it came out, came with a strap that would go around your shoulder, and then that's what would tie onto here with some clasps. I'm not sure how good we'll be able to get these cleaned up because they are still within the leather, and any harsh chemicals on this, of course, the leather would suck up, and I'd be afraid of weakening the leather. But we'll see what we can do. No promises, no guarantees. We have cleaning like that on a lot of things. The battery terminals are also corroded, so we'll try to get that all cleaned up best we can. Again, no promises, guarantees, what happens. So that is it with this radio. Catch me in the next part where we start tearing this apart, working on it, and we'll do another band scan at the end. See you there. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, here's a trippy effect. Aiming my camera at my monitor. You gotta admit, this is really cool. Check this out. Ain't that trippy? Look at all those VU meters. Test 1 2 1 2 test test test. All I'm doing is changing the white balance. Echo. Echo. Trippy dippy. Alright, I guess I'm done playing now. Wait, before I let you go. Sitting here playing with this some more. Check this out. All I'm doing is zooming in. All I'm doing here is panning the camera back and forth. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. Okay, now I'm gone. Bye.